So, my husband's bestie, the same bestie that he has not seen in 6 long years, is going to make it in time for our wedding. Well, imagine how surprised I am and how happy I am to finally meet my soon to be husband's best friend. Well, the one thing I didn't consider, his best friend is a girl, and she has a crush on him. Hello everyone, I'm in the middle of a problem and I don't know where I should start. Me and Emily, and this is what's been happening lately. So I recently got married to the love of my life, Bob, and it's indeed a very beautiful feeling to be with a person whom you're in love with. But things have not been fine lately. As there's a third person involved, Bob's childhood best friend, Sia, has been trying to gain Bob's attention lately by pulling out these cheap moves and making me feel insecure, and I'm scared that Bob might replicate those feelings back as they've always been close. This thing's been keeping me up at night, and honestly, I've not been able to focus on things lately because of being bothered so much. I'm standing at a point in life where I don't really know what's going to happen next, and there's no way that I can share all this. I fear betrayal, and I'm not sure what to do. Please hear me out. Let me tell you where it all began. So, me and Bob have been together for 5 years, and we finally decided to settle down with each other. We realized that it was a good idea to get married in an intimate ceremony with our family and close friends. All this time since we've been together, Bob has always mentioned Sia in a very joyful manner and how they become best friends and all. He has mentioned all their good memories and how Sia has always been there for him. Initially, to me, it's always sounded like how a sibling bond would be until I actually met Sia. She's lived abroad for 6 years and decided to come back for our wedding. We were very happy, especially my husband, as he had not seen her for 6 long years. So obviously for him it was a bit of a happy occasion. See, his best friend arrived a day before our wedding and was avoiding me the entire time. I was puzzled as she had known all about me, but still did not greet me well. She just said a monotone, hello, and I was like, well, that's it. As she arrived, she straight away went to Bob and gave him a tight hug and a kiss on the cheek. At that moment, it did not occur to me that much of this amount of comfort was understandable between them, right? On the same day, we had organized a dinner and a dance party for everyone, and everything was going fine. Until I see Sia being drunk and getting clingy towards Bob while dancing. She kept on reaching out for his face, his hands, and whatnot. Although it was a happy occasion, I felt a sense of doubt. Bob dragged me to the dance floor, as dancing together had always been our thing. But to my surprise, Sia, in a very clever manner, pushed me out of the way, and I slightly slipped. I still could not understand. Again, on the dance floor, she started getting close to Bob and gave me a side-eye. I might understand something now, huh? It was time for dinner, and all of us were heading towards the hall, and I saw Sia holding on to Bob's arm. Honestly, it was a terrible feeling, but I didn't know whether to talk about it or not. As soon as I reached for a chair, Bob was headed to me while he was interrupted by Sia, who was kind of dragging him to sit with her in a corner. Even at that moment, I kept quiet as I did not want to create a scene. After all, we had dinner, and while heading towards our room, I heard her asking Bob to accompany her for a late-night walk. But Bob refused, saying that he was tired and wanted to rest. Next day, on our wedding day, all I could think about was Sia's behavior towards us, and for a moment, I wanted to believe that she had a thing for Bob, but I could not have been wrong because of their friendship. I just kept telling myself that after the wedding it would be fine, but I was exhausted. I'm worried at the moment. Bob and I, we finally got married. Although everything was fine until Sia showed up at our place. I was having second thoughts and I did not know what would happen next. So while watching a movie, I saw her sitting next to Bob in a very tight manner, not realizing that he was my husband and she should at least maintain a healthy boundary, am I right? I was furious. I called Bob to the kitchen to help me with the food and all, but his bestie became persistent in not letting him go. Bob did manage to get out of her hole to help me out and clearly saw how agonized Sia was, as if my husband belonged to her. While she was leaving, she hugged Bob, straight away for like 5 minutes, in front of me too, and again gave him a kiss on the cheek, making me so uncomfortable. My anger kept on piling up, and that gave me clarity that Sia did not have any right intentions. I went to bed very upset as I kept doubting that something bad was going to happen. Was I going to lose Bob? Will he leave me for Sia? I also observed, how active Bob and Sia were on text messages. That night, she kept texting him, and I believed, called him 2 times, claiming that she was feeling alone and needed someone to talk to. Well, I could not process all that was going on, and my thoughts went so overboard that I had tears. The other things that is currently bothering me is, why is Bob so quiet about this? Why is he not actively pushing her away? Does he not love me anymore? Bob noticed that I was not responding well to anything, and he sat me down and asked me if I had anything bothering me. I wanted to tell him right then and there, but just could not gather the guts to do it. I wanted to tell him how badly I was affected by Sia's arrival, and moreover, she did not even respect me. I thought that opening up about this would only make it bad, as, the contrary. I didn't want to spoil their friendship and did not want to be a bad person at all. Still, he kept on asking me if I was okay, to which I responded that I was just exhausted and wanted to relax. After a few days, I came up with an idea. To clear my head and go ahead to take Bob away from Sia, I decided that we should go for our honeymoon, as it would have been a great opportunity for me and Bob to spend some personal time, as that's been missing for a very, very long time. I thought I had it all, and this was the perfect opportunity for us to be together and, most importantly, get away from Sia. As soon as I thought about discussing my plan with Bob, he called me instead, only to shock me. He, I believe, in a good tone, tells me that Sia arrived at his work and surprised him with 3 travel tickets, and I could not believe what happened. It was not just Sia, but to me it seemed like Bob was also interested in her. That's why he's open to all of this without questioning anything, though I wasn't really 100% sure. 5 hours before the trip, as we were leaving for the airport, Sia barged into the car, taking up the front seat, which obviously meant that she wanted to sit with Bob, and sarcastically asked me to hold her handbag and sit on the back seat. Bob did notice this, but chose to remain silent, which fueled my doubts. All the way to the airport, these two kept talking, making me feel left out. I felt so alone that I seriously wanted to leave the car. I was just holding it in. Seeing them laughing and talking, it made me insecure to a whole nother level. Upon arriving at the airport, things got even worse. The woman at the ticket counter said that my ticket was booked in economy class while the other 2 were in business class. Well, obviously my heart sank. Everything was getting more and more clear in my head, and the worst part of it all, I felt helpless. That made me sure that even Bob was into Sia, and I should probably back out. Sia pretended that this was some mistake that happened and she did not mean to do this. Yeah, right. As if I was going to believe her, and for hours in the flight I was suffocating, as it was pretty evident that nothing would be the same again, and I would have to leave. I felt a sense of betrayal, and if this was going to be the case, then why did he marry me? I cannot take it anymore. I've always been a self-respectable woman, and I decided to stand up for myself, Upon our arrival, we went to our hotel while I was still preoccupied with my thoughts, and obviously I had to save my marriage. I loved Bob, so I took the opportunity and went to Sia while Bob was in the shower. I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs and tell her how much I hate her. Rather, I decided to stand up to her. I straight away asked her the main question, and as she stood in front of me, I asked her what's going on with her and Bob, thinking that I would not know that she was pretending. She hit me up with a what? I told her that she's clearly knowing the answer to my question, so I expected her to answer. I even went to ask her how long this has been going on and between her and Bob. She gives in and claims that she loves Bob and makes sure that he cheats on me in the best way possible. Today has been such a horrible day, and I don't know what to expect next as Sia sounded confident, but still I believe I should keep an eye on how things unfold now. I was shocked at Sia's confidence as I did not know what would happen now. Was Bob interested in Sia too? Should I go and confront him straight away, or should I keep an eye on him and test his loyalty? I'm in such a dilemma. That's why I ended up writing here, because I just don't really know who else to talk to, and so I would really appreciate your suggestions and advice on this absolute nightmare. I'm just hoping this vacation ends soon. Update number 1. Hey everyone, thank you for sending so much support and suggestions regarding my last post. Well, yesterday, when I confronted Sia, well, I had expected that she would understand, but I was wrong. You know, she clearly dismissed me and was hell-bent on sabotaging my marriage even. Although I feel drained, I don't want to give up. I've been keeping an eye closely on things so that I at least find something, and as most of you suggested that I should confront my husband, and I do think that's exactly the right thing to do, as I want closure, and you know, I just want answers to my question that if he loves someone else, then why did he marry me? While I was going through the comments, I also noticed how some of you suggested that I should start a new life and leave Bob, but I do think that I deserve to know the truth because that would give me the strength to overcome betrayal. Currently, I'm just observing, and I've been given a thought about confronting Bob, but how do I do it? He's constantly bugged by Sia, which has left me no choice but to wait for the right moment. I've been seeing how Sia is constantly nagging me and giving me a cold shoulder every time I try to spend time with Bob, but he just laughs it off. I know confronting him would be the most appropriate thing to do at the moment, but only if he'll take this serious. For him, he's literally having the best time of his life with his so-called bestie. Sia not paying attention that I'm also present, I'm yet to think about the questions to be asked while I'm actually confronting, Bob, but I have a feeling that it'll end up hurting me in the most terrible manner. Even after all the gathered courage and of course your suggestions, I'm still in two minds as everything is just right in front of my eyes. Presently, I cannot even believe the phase that I'm going through. Somebody that I chose to be with a lifeline for was betraying me for another woman. I'm finding it hard to keep up with anything at the moment as I'm just thinking about all the good times with Bob and how the situation had changed. Since I'm not ready to give up, I think I'm going to confront Bob. And, how badly I'm affected by this, and now I'm prepared. I'm not able to process what's been happening to me and going on about all this time. It's time for the truth. I'm ready to ask him the question, and it does not matter if Sia is around or not. I'll still ask. I have no idea what to expect. Will he tell me the truth? I'm nervous. I feel sick, though. I'm not someone who gets ill while traveling, but this time, I feel a little bit of something. Anyways, I'm ready to confront Bob and determined to get my answers. Let's see, will I be let down? Update number 3. Hey everyone, I know I've not written for a few days, but I have a bit of big news for you. I'm pregnant. It's been 2 days since I got my results and I'm overwhelmed with joy. I'm going through so much at the moment, but this news has made us extremely happy. We're back from the vacation, by the way. Another thing, as you all might be wondering, yes, I confronted Bob and things turned out to be really unexpected. I thought that he was giving in to Sia's advances, but it's definitely not the case. Oh, what a relief. The moment I was about to confront him, he came up to me annoyed and screamed that he was so done with Sia. He called her irritating, selfish, and immature and said that he was so done. He complained that he did not even get to spend a minute with me during the holidays, and it's so frustrating at that moment I teared up a little bit as I was proved wrong. Of course, it was a good thing. We were still intact, and there was no way Bob was going to leave me for that witch. Upon seeing me cry, Bob asked me if everything was okay, to which I replied that I thought that he was in love with Sia or something, and he clearly denied it and said that I was the only one he truly loved. I'm so happy. that there's nothing from my husband's side and I could talk to him about everything that Sia said to me. All my hope was restored and I felt comfort after a very long time. Bob did notice Sia's behavior towards him and thought that it was too clingy, but since he came back after a very long time, he could not have been rude to her. He apologized to me for whatever I felt and of course I forgave him. While talking about all this, Bob also told me that he's always found Sia to be an attention seeker and does not appreciate her that much. Wait, what? And here I was thinking that he was the happiest when she showed up at our wedding, as she was his only best friend, and I always thought that he thought good things about her. Well, this is an unexpected turn. Although I did get clarity from Bob's side, I did not trust Sia at all, as she would have done anything to push me away from Bob. The entire story also goes back to the fact that Sia also liked Bob during the university days but could not ask him out, as she always thought that he was way out of her league. Well, how do I know this, you may ask? It's because Bob told me. While I was confronting Bob, I gave him a heads up that Sia was into him and everything that she did and said to me, and wow, furious Bob could not take this and let out all what happened at the university days. He honestly thought it was a one-time thing, but he never thought that she would go to such an extent. So, one good thing in all of this chaos was that we were expecting a child and Bob was the happiest of all. Bob became more careful with Sia after the moment and started avoiding her. I could clearly see his frustration. I just think that it's much, much better now to be careful, you know? Bob and I are planning a baby shower on a grand scale, and I'm excited about it. Au the contraire, I'm also scared that Sia will again do something regretful, as she was not the one to be trusted, as she's clearly threatening me, and assured me that she would cheat on me. Even after receiving clarity from Bob's side, I'm still not sure about what to expect next. I'm just hoping that Sia should stop. Considering my present condition at the moment, do you think that she will, or will she make things worse for us? Has she given up the idea of separating us? I just wonder. Update number 3. Hey guys, it's me, and yes, I'm back. I really thought that Sia would have had some heart and would stop with her actions, considering that I'm in a delicate condition now. But some people can never change. Hello everyone, so here is one major update. First of all, thank you for all the good wishes. I feel blessed. A few days have passed since my last update, and I came back here to update you all about what's been happening lately. Yesterday, we organized our baby shower where all of our family members were present, and so was Sia. The only relief was that Bob was on my side, and I felt strong. The day was going pretty well, and everyone was joyful until Sia decided to pull out another cheap move. Although I was keeping a pretty sharp eye on her, I could not maintain it for a long period of time, as there was a lot of guests and I had to attend to all of them. The last time I saw her, she was talking to a waiter at the bar while exchanging glances, but maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Approximately an hour later, I heard a sound as if somebody had broken a champagne bottle. As soon as I got up to see what happened, I heard Bob screaming at the top of his lungs. I freaked out for a moment, as I've never heard him that way. We all ran towards the bar as the sound was coming from there, only to see Bob screaming at Sia in the most horrendous manner. Well, he has proof now. It was pretty evident. It almost seemed like he was going to slap her or something, but he was stopped by my mother-in-law and his father. "Get out of my sight, you ungrateful creep," shouted Bob. Though it was an intense situation, I felt happy as Sia was going to get a tough one from Bob. All the people inside the room went absolutely radio silent. He even threatened her that he would call her parents, as she was terrified of them if she did not stop with her actions. I took the opportunity and asked Bob what happened, to which he replied that I could not believe it. He announced that Sia was about to spike its glass of champagne with some sort of drug, but he caught her red-handed and called her a creep. I've never seen her so vulnerable. The very bold Sia was not able to maintain eye contact with anyone. While being confronted for what she did, she claimed that she hated the fact that Bob married me instead of her. because she kept counting on it while also accepting that she hated me. I was obviously not surprised because I knew it already, and she saw me as a rival and wanted me to get out of here as soon as possible so that she could be with Bob, and now the tables have turned. She told Bob that she would love him more than me, to which Bob replied that he would have never known her sweet intentions if I had not told him. Without wasting any further time, he told Sia not to ruin our special day and to leave, and never get back into our lives again. She felt humiliated and had almost left while she told me that she would ruin my life in the best way possible and that I should just wait and watch. I already knew something was about to come, as she was not going to let this go easily, but I didn't think about it much. Rather, I decided to enjoy the baby shower. As for the drama that took place at the baby shower, I believe that it happened for just good, as Sia was persistent in creating problems between me and Bob. Though I'm glad that Bob did not give in, I'll always remember this incident and how much it affected me. It's one of those hell of a core memories. In the midst of all this, I'm thankful for each of you who supported me, and just enough to give me the strength to confront Sia, and of course for all the pregnancy wishes. As I sit here though, I wonder if Sia's going to come after me or not. What do you guys think? Final update. Hello everyone, here I am with another update. I honestly thought that the previous post was going to be my last one, but something major happened today and I have to tell you. So it's just been 2 days since my last post, and I woke up with a number of notifications on my phone. I think about 1,000 messages were tagging me. I had no clue about what was going on. Sia wrote a pretty humiliating post about me on social, portraying me as a horrible, characterless woman, claiming all the false things that never happened. She badmouthed me by saying so many things, such as I'm a gold digger who's living off my husband's money, and I'm someone who has multiple affairs, and the child that I'm carrying is not Bobby's. And here I was thinking we got rid of that woman. I still don't understand what to do with her. I took the matter into my hands, as this time our family's reputation was at stake. I got in touch with our family lawyer and discussed everything. For the very first time to the present, and we decided to send her a legal notice. This time I threatened her to take down all the postings that she's written about me, and if she did not, I would sue her in court. I would invest millions to fight the case if I had to, and of course it'll end up damaging her family's reputation. And Sia, she becomes furious and dared me to come for her, and this time I was not going to take her lightly, as she had already ruined a lot of things for me. So I reported everything to the police and took the matter to their hands. I told them that she was harassing us online and the problems of all this created for us. The police arrived at Sia's residence with a warrant and arrested her, then and there, which forced her to take down all the social media posts that she had shared. At the end of the day, Sia's was left with nothing, as she deserved what she got, and that is the taste of her own medicine. Honestly, I cannot be more glad.